Well, I think we all knew it would come to this at some point. With 86,000 miles on her, it's time to pull out that old tired 96 inch. Put in this 103 I got. It's only got 6,000 miles on it, 90-day warranty. Picked it up today, so hopefully I can get that in this weekend and test it out, make sure everything's good. So let's get to work. Let's pull these bags, take our floorboards off, pull the exhaust, and I think we can get away with just tilting the tank up, not taking it off. Let's start with that and see where we get. All right, guys, we're about 2 hours in, and I have got the primary broke down. Got your shifter linkage you got to take loose. I've got saddlebags, side covers, fuel tank. I did have to take it off and turn it around. Floorboards are off. Exhaust is off. And I think, I'm not sure which side this is going to have to come out on, to be honest. But got my top motor mount loose, and where I'm at now is I need to pull my oil filter and get my oil cooler loose, and I've got a few sensor wires to pull down here. Got some sensor wires to pull up here, so we'll get that done and see if we can't get this motor out tonight. All right, guys, it's finally getting exciting. We've got, I think, you know, and I could be wrong, everything unhooked other than the 4 bolts where the motor mounts to the transmission. And I don't know what all I'm gonna have to take off. I don't know if I'm gonna have to take some of the intake off to get this to clear to come out of here, but hopefully here in a few minutes we can be pulling the motor out of my bike. Unhooked my throttle cables, the top stabilizer for the motor. I've got all 4 bolts out of the bottom. Sensors unhooked down at the bottom, all the sensors at the top unhooked. The oil cooler, got it pulled out of the way. I don't know if I'm gonna have to pull this stabilizer to get clearance down here, but man, it's gonna be tight to come out. But I think I'm gonna try to pull it out of the left hand side of the bike. I'm gonna see if I can get you guys set up somewhere. Let's try to go out the other side. So actually, I think if I pull this right here, I pull my horn mounting mechanism, I think that I can pull this out of the right hand side. So let me pull that off and I'll get right back with you. Okay, attempt number 2 to pull the motor. Let's see if we can bring it on this right hand side. Oh, it's so close. I'm just barely not clearing right there. There she is, boys and squirrels. Man, got a big old hole in the back. The 96 is out. 103 is ready to go in. Should I call it a night and start back in the morning, or keep going? I don't know. Let me have a beer and think on it. Alright, well, it's the next day. I decided to call it quits last night. Got the bike off the lift. I'm gonna try to get a little pressure washing done and clean up some of the old grime before we stick the motor back in. Then my father-in-law is gonna come help me stab the new motor, so let's get to washing. Got the bike back on the lift, pretty well cleaned up, and I was worried about how I'm gonna get this gasket to stay in here between the transmission and the motor. But on further inspection, it's got these dowel holes, and these gaskets have little tips on them. So I think as long as I don't bump it around too much, should be okay. But I think I'm still gonna wait on some help. We'll see if goes in as easy as I think it is. And I think it'd be easier if you remove this brake assembly, but I don't believe I'm going to. So this motor came out of my bike out of a 2007 Ultra. This came out of a 2012, I believe, a Dyna Wide Glide. And this sensor here, although I'm not sure what it exactly is, the connector on it is different. So I'm going to pull my sensor out, put it in this one, and it's really the only thing. I'm going to have to put the oil cooler on this one. Other than that, it's ready to go. Well, you guys missed out on all the fun yesterday. Kenny showed up. We stabbed this motor. And he actually stayed until we finished it. Test rode the bike last night. So, motor runs good. It had a little bit of a tick in the top end. Let it run for a minute and that cleared right. Had a little bit of tick in the top end. Let it run for a few minutes and it cleared right up.